Senator Boyce.
Thank you, Mr President. My question is to the Minister for Indigenous Affairs, Senator Scullion. Could the Minister update the Senate on the implementation of the remote school attendance strategy following his visits recently to the NTWA and to my home state of Queensland in the past month?
The Minister for Indigenous Affairs, Senator Scullion.
Thank you, Mr President, and thank you to Senator Boyce, and thank you for your support during my visit to Queensland. Look, this is a top priority for this government, to get Aboriginal and Islander children to school, and we've set ourselves a target of some 90%. The reason that's no different to anyone in mainstream. It's around about 90%, give or take some sick days and those sort of things. As of last week, to achieve this, again on the philosophy that we should be employing not only Aboriginal and Islander people, but Aboriginal and Islander people from those particular communities. As of last week, we'd got over 300 school attendance officers who met all of those checks and balances, and we have another 100 or so to employ. The only hold-up to that is, of course, some of the working with children certificates. Now, the duties of these officers is not just to get bums on seats. It's assisting people actually getting to school, it's assisting with breakfast programs, it's assisting in the classroom, it's specialing with kids who are not used to the class situation, and most importantly, it's ensuring that there's a liaison with the parents so we can assure we can maximise the benefits of having kids in school. We'll be providing additional funding of $180 per child to assist with uniforms, with transport, or with any of those other impediments to getting kids to school. I've visited communities in schools at Gallowinku, Gumbalanya, Yuendamu, Tennant Creek, Ali Currung, Carnarvon, Roebourne, Meekatharra and Palm Island to hear of from all of this wide range of challenges over different schools, and the things that remains absolutely constant is the decision to employ people who are Aboriginal people from the community to sit down and respect the views of that community about how they want to get to the school underpins this process. And I have to say, in Meekatharra, it was pretty hard to understand how difficult it would be going to work at 8:30 in the morning when it's already 38 degrees.
Time's expired for us answering the question. Senator Boyce.
Thank you, Mr President. Could the Minister tell the Senate whether any of the people appointed as school attendance officers have since moved into full-time work since the program started?
Minister.
Thank you, Mr President. Yes, on a visit to Palm Island, I was just visiting St Michael's, and I'd been told, as I've done a bit of a research on most of the school attendance officers, and I was pretty cranky to know as soon as I got there that 3 of my perfectly good attendance officers had been in fact poached by the Department of Education in Queensland, and I couldn't be happier with the result. Because school attendance officers aren't the end of the game. This is an incubation place where people can see them at work, they're part of the education system, and I think that will hopefully continue into the future. Interestingly, the police also contacted me to see if there was any actual impediment in them doing the same about recruiting. So I think that people who are so respected by the community are already engaged, have already demonstrated an excellent work ethic and fantastic, particularly in the area of communicating. And I think that these particular skills are going to be used right across the spectrum, and I certainly hope that other organisations see this as an incubator, not an end game.
Time's expired. Senator Boyce.
Thank you, Mr President. Could the Minister tell the Senate if the early limited data that we have on the school attendance strategy indicates whether the program is making a difference or not?
Minister.
Well, there's only been a limited period of time, but across the board we have seen substantive increases. Gumbalanya, in week 6 now, the attendance is still up by about 25%. Woolgar on week 3, the attendance was up by about 54%. And in Maningrida in week 3 in term 1, we're still up by about 28%. So whilst when I say it's a bit of a mixed bag, certainly no one's resting on their laurels. I think that it's gone extremely well thus far. Across the country, there's well over 600 Aboriginal people who are now attending school today that would not have been attending without this initiative. Now, there is some cynicism and perhaps healthy cynicism about the fact that we need to continue to provide the resources to ensure they not only get to school but get a good education. And I would assure everyone who's in this space that I will be ensuring that the states and territories are kept to their end of the bargaining and providing the education resources necessary.
Your time has expired.